heritage, our tradition, our future. Today, we become.
In this episode of Premier Interschools Rugby, we look ahead to this Saturday's derby between rivals Maritzburg College and King Edward VII School, live on SuperSport. The 10th match of the 2017 Premier Interschools series takes place in the KwaZulu-Natal capital of Pietermaritzburg, where two famed all-boys schools, Maritzburg College and King Edward, meet for what promises to be an enthralling schoolboy rugby encounter.
Our relationship with Kes goes back to 1956, which is a long time, but we haven't played a huge number of fixtures, but over the last 3 or 4 years we've picked those up, and the fixtures have always been very close.
Yeah, the last number of years have really been there's really been a ding-dong battle between the two schools, and in fact I think before this year the last 3 fixtures we'd been separated by 1 point with 2 draws and a win for Maritzburg College.
They're probably one of our toughest games this year so far, and we know going to Goldstones is only going to make it harder. So we, as a start, I think we're really looking forward to ending off the season on a high note and hopefully continue playing the rugby that we did earlier on.
They're always a very tough competition and a good team to measure ourselves with. They are a respectful team and a nice team to play against because of their sportsmanship and the good way that they play their rugby.
The Maritzburg College fixture, always a tough one. And to travel down and having to go and beat them back at home, it's never easy. But I'm confident that the boys are ready. They've put in the hard work. It's been a good season, and they are very determined to end it on a high. So I think we can expect another good clash.
Although rugby is off focus this time, both Maritzburg and King Edward have produced numerous prominent sportsmen in other fields, most notably cricket. College boasts the likes of Jonty Rhodes, Kevin Peterson and David Miller recently, whilst King Edward too have produced Graham Smith, Neil McKenzie, Dane Villis and Stephen Cook, to name but a few. In the current England-South African Test Series, 2 former King Edward teammates, Keaton Jennings and Quinton de Kock, faced off on opposite sides.
Yeah, I think our cricket has always been a sport of prominence here at King Edward, and I think the Test series at the moment between England and South Africa is special because you've got an old boy in each of the respective sides, and I think Quinton's caught Keaton out a few times already in this series, and we're always very proud of our old boys, no matter who they play for.
On the rugby front, King Edward old boy Malcolm Marks has established himself as the Springboks starting hooker, whilst fellow old Edwardian Skara Ntobeni, recently returned from a long injury layoff, will be pushing him for the coveted green jersey.
Yeah, look, Skara's a special old boy, and you know, he always makes a thing of coming to the school when he's in Johannesburg, and this year when we were down playing at Wynberg, he was at every game and handed jerseys out and had a special message for our boys. He certainly recognises the school in anything he does, and we're extremely proud of him, and more probably just as proud of the way he conducts himself. I think he's a fine young man and a fine advert for our school.
Yeah, I think our year we had quite a nice team, quite a good bunch of guys. You know, we all stayed together and we made some good memories. And yeah, I mean, half of us are still friends, and you know that's why we play the game for building the relationships and taking them further, hopefully after school.
I think a guy like Skara is testament to the type of lad the school produces. You know, guys who've got perseverance, who've got a work ethic. He's definitely talented. I'm privileged having played with him, and you know, all that is achieved is deserved. You know, pity about his injury, but in my opinion, he's another guy who's one of the premier hookers in the country.
The Reds have enjoyed arguably one of their best seasons yet in 2017.
two things stand out for me, apart from the fact that they're really talented. The two things that stand out for me and that make this group really special, their work ethic. They put in a whole lot of hard yards during the off-season and during the season, and then they've built a very good team culture, and it's been really special for me and the rest of the coaching staff to be involved with them.
One of the reasons for King Edward's success has been the influence of new head coach Mzwaki Nkosi.
You've got a man that constantly just talks rugby. He plans rugby. He thinks rugby. And when you put that together with the unbelievable knowledge he's obtained over the years, you've got a formidable force. And I think that was very clear and obvious when looking at what the Craven Week and the Craven Week team dished up for us.
I've definitely enjoyed my role as a head coach, having taken over from Carl. It's not a role that's been new to me. I was a head coach at a provincial team, but I took some lessons that we learned together and learned from him, and those two experiences I think have stood me in a really good position to sort of try and have a successful season.
Nkosi, as well as 7 of the King Edward boys, featured in the Golden Lions' historic victory over the Sharks in the unofficial final of the 2017 Coca-Cola Craven Week. Trailing 11-18 at half-time, the Lions scored 34 unanswered points in the second half, with many of the King Edward boys playing a prominent role.
Being part of the Craven Week is really special. It's the premier schoolboy rugby tournament in the country. Other countries are envious of South Africa in terms of having a schoolboy tournament like that, and obviously this year it was made really special by the fact that we won the final game, having just come short last year. So we were really chuffed, and I was really privileged to be part of the tournament.
This year's Craven Week was easily one of the best experiences of my life. I think even outside the rugby, the atmosphere, the camaraderie that goes behind a whole Craven Week is absolutely fantastic.
The College King Edward match is one of the most evenly fought battles on the scoreboard, with both sides having won 3 matches each, with 2 draws in the 8 most recent encounters.
Over the last 3 or 4 years, our fixtures against Kes have been very, very close. There's been a win here and a loss there, 1 point difference here, 1 point difference there. They beat us early on this year in a very exciting game, so we look forward to evening the playing fields when we see them early next year.
The return fixture at Goldstones, College's famed home ground, will be the iconic setting for the boys of College, both for the 15 on the pitch and the thousands more packed onto Basher Ridge.
Some of the traditions we have as a home game playing first team is walking under Nicholson's arch, which is the arch we run out of when we run onto the field, and you can only walk under it if you're first team. And the first time I ran under it, I had tears under my eyes. I think it's a very emotional part of any person's first team experience is running through the arch.
When one plays these exchanges, obviously it's a huge occasion, and we have our shouting captains, we call them shouting captains, and there are 3 of them, and they don the famous white blazer, and they jog across the field and they get 1,330 boys going. So it's quite an amazing thing. There's lots of chants and war cries and cheering and singing as they spur the boys on to greater heights.
Saturday, 12 August, will be a truly special Premier Interschools match for the boys of Maritzburg College and King Edward, as the matrics on both sides will run out to represent their school one last time.
I think the Kes game will be, I'd say, one of the biggest of the season. Having played them early on this year on their home ground was quite a tough game. They've won that game and they deserve that win, but then it's a different thing when you come onto Goldstones. Goldstones just means so much to us, and I think as a college boy you just pick up your game quite a lot more than what you would normally. So I think it's going to be quite a tough game, emotional game, and having it being our last game on Goldstones is going to be quite emotional.
Yeah, I think a matric's last game is always very emotional. I think the boys spend their 5 years playing with a great deal of passion, and I think the camaraderie and spirit that's built in the team and any of the teams is something special. So I think for the boys it's really a significant day, and I think for the grade 12s who'll be playing their final game of rugby and potentially their final game of rugby ever. it will be a special day, I think, for both schools.
Being at our last game, it's always emotional for everyone, and we want to put our hearts out on the field till the end, so make our last game the most memorable we can.
Yeah, I think for our boys, especially playing here on Goldstones, it's a very special place for our boys to play. And being their last game, they're really going to come out here and want to make it a really good one to remember. So, yeah, it's going to be a very memorable game. It's really important, though, that we put those emotions into the right areas of the game, that we play the game at hand, but we're looking very forward to that.
For me personally, it's my last time on Goldstones, having played on Goldstones for 2 years. So it will be quite an emotional day for me, but I think it's a great opportunity to redeem ourselves, as we lost in the second half to them earlier in this year, and what a way to end off my season and my time on Goldstones with a win against the team that beat us before.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. Since grade 10 it was my first fixture, and now you always think of that last game. I've got so much time. You start first team in grade 11. I've still got 2 years, and now by the looks of things, we've got 70 minutes left. So it's a big game for us, and hopefully we can end our high school career on a positive note.
It's always very physical. It's never easy on the body, very, very fast. So I think they're going to come out guns blazing. They're going to want to win the match, seeing as we won the first one this year. So it's going to be a very tough encounter.
I think if I could give a message, is that they must just have fun. It goes by so quick. We still talk about those days, and just to let them know that they're not just playing for themselves. I mean, we're very proud. We watch and we look closely to what they're doing, and we're really proud of them. And yeah, they're flying the flag quite high, and they've had a great season. And just want to say congratulations to them, and they must just keep going.
I think to the college boys, you never know when your last game is, especially for the red, black and white. So enjoy your last opportunity, have fun with your friends, and yeah, make the most of it.
Today, we stand for all that is, for our heritage, our tradition, our future. Today, we become...
Watch Maritzburg College versus King Edward in Premier Interschools Rugby this Saturday, live on SuperSport.